So one thing people are always asking me is how much my electricity bill went up after getting a Tesla, and generally just how much it costs to charge at home.
So for a while, I actually didn't know the answer to this. Your electricity company isn't going to give you a breakdown of this. Just the thought of charging a car sounds like it would be super expensive, but it's actually not as much as I think you would expect. In the past, the only way to know was to get a meter installed, and because I rent, I never got one installed.
In fact, I never even installed a level 2 charger. I've just been using a 110 volt outlet.
So I would always estimate, try and look at my past utility bills before I got a Tesla and after, and see how much higher it was.
But having roommates, there's just a lot of factors that affect my electricity bill, so I never actually really knew.
Until today. I actually found an app that tracks how many kilowatt hours you're using. So it syncs to your car. You don't have to write it down or really even keep track of it, but it gives you all the data of how much you're using. So today I'm finally going to share with you guys how much it actually costs to charge at home. You might be surprised by how much it is. Before we get into it, I wanted to let you guys know about Omaze's latest giveaway because it is insane, and thank Omaze for sponsoring this video. Omaze is giving away this amazing house in Austin, Texas, or $1.3 million. If you win, you get to choose between the two. I would pick the house. I would move to Austin for that house. This house is amazing. It's a super modern house with custom windows, floating stairs in the kitchen. Just look at the kitchen. It's beautiful. It's like kind of natural feeling, but very high end and modern. It's located in the Travis Heights neighborhood, which is walking distance to South Congress Avenue, where you'll find shopping, restaurants, and live music. This giveaway supports Folds of Honor, which is a nonprofit organization that provides educational scholarships to the spouses and children of America's fallen and disabled service members. Educational scholarships provide private education tuition, homeschooling, and tutoring for children in grades K through 12. They also provide higher education assistance for spouses and dependents. To date, they've provided over 20,000 scholarships in all 50 states, including Guam, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands. So I will have the giveaway link down below. I hope one of you guys win the house. If you do, can I please come over because it's so cool.
To enter for a chance to win, go to omaze.com/ShelbyChurch.
So go check it out, and now let's get into the video. So like I said, I charged my car in just a normal outlet. I didn't get anything installed to this house. This outlet was just here. It's just the same kind that you would find in your living room. It charges a little bit slower, but it's not any different in terms of cost.
And the cost is all going to depend on the electricity rate that your utility company has set.
The cost to charge varies depending on where you live. Similar to gas, prices of electricity are different state to state. So we can see in somewhere like Alabama, it's only 12 cents per kilowatt hour. But in Hawaii, it can be as much as 32 cents per kilowatt hour. So in LA, where I mainly charge, it's on a tiered system.
So here's my lovely utility bill. As you can see, there are 3 different tiers. Tier 1 is only 17 cents per kilowatt hour, but you only get 700 of those, so that really gets used up from air conditioning, lights inside the house, all that stuff. Most of what we're charged is at Tier 2, so basically what I'm charged is a rate of 23 cents per kilowatt hour.
So that is what I charge myself, the rate of my car. Because I have roommates, I'm not gonna take the cheapest one because we definitely use up the 700. There are also some incentives if you get a meter installed. I think you get off like 0.02 cents per kilowatt hour. It's not a lot, but there are like some rebates and things that you can get.
To put that into perspective, that would save you like maybe $5 a month, maybe, and you would have to pay to get the meter installed.
I haven't done that because I don't have a meter installed, and it's not gonna make a huge difference, honestly. But yeah, that is there. Okay, so the app is called EV Energy. I'll link it down below if you have a Tesla, or you can do this with any electric car actually. So what you do is sync it to your car. So because, you know, Teslas have basically a computer inside of them, you're able to sync it, and then just whenever you plug it in, the app knows and it starts tracking the kilowatt hours. It's very cool. This is not sponsored by them. I just found it and thought it was so cool because you can actually see how many kilowatt hours you are using. Then on here, you can also link your utility company so it can calculate the cost for you. If they don't have your utility company, just go onto your utility company's website and find your kilowatt hour rate.
So once you know the rate per kilowatt hour, you can just use this app to track how many kilowatt hours you actually use in a month. So I synced up my phone, and from there I didn't actually have to write anything down. It was just automatically tracking it, and I just went about my regular month. And now let's check back and see how much it cost.
So in the last month, the app shows I used 162 kilowatt hours, and it cost me $36.14. I know kilowatt hours probably means nothing to you guys. Like, I didn't really understand it, honestly, at first. But I looked into it more. So the Tesla battery has 50 kilowatt hours. I essentially used up 3 full charges, so I drove about 700 miles. So a lot of people also ask about superchargers. Most people actually assume that they're free, and they're not, unless you bought a Model X or a Model S quite a while ago. Then you got free charging, but everyone else has to pay for it. Luckily, I actually have never paid for it because so many of you guys have used my link. Thank you for that. So superchargers tend to be just slightly more expensive than charging at home. Same thing with home charging. The cost per kilowatt hour depends on where the supercharger is, but on average, they're about 25 cents per kilowatt hour. So it's just like 2 or 3 cents more than if I charge at home. It's really not that much more. It's definitely less expensive than gas. So a full charge at a supercharger is about $12. Way cheaper than a tank of gas, right? But remember, that's only for 240 miles. Most gas tanks are like 500 or 600 miles, sometimes more. So you double that and you get the equivalent cost of filling up a gas tank. So basically $25 is the equivalent cost. And I remember when I had a gas car, it would be like $60 to fill it up because I live in LA and gas is expensive. So 60 versus 25, 30-ish. I mean, it's basically half the cost of gas to charge your car at a supercharger. And then at home, it's usually like a little less than that. If you came here just looking to know the amount per month it costs to charge at home on my electric bill, basically, yeah, it's $35 a month on average if I drive around 700 miles, which is pretty typical for me if I'm traveling. So if you drive like 1,000 miles per month, it's gonna be a little bit more. One other thing I've noticed that can affect the cost is if where you live, they charge more for peak hours. So where I am in LA, they actually don't do this, but at the Airbnb in Palm Springs, they do this. So there are off-peak hours, on-peak hours. There's even super off-peak. And generally, if you just leave your car charging overnight, that's just the cheapest time. If you live somewhere that has this type of payment structure, you just don't want to charge in the afternoon. Like, think about when people are off work and coming home and most people are home using electricity. That's when you don't want to charge your car. It's going to be a little more expensive. And you can actually see here, it's actually less expensive in the winter. In the summer, it can be as much as 43 cents from 4 to 9 p.m.
Although I actually looked at my electricity bill in Palm Springs and I never saw that I got charged 43 cents at any point. The most I got, you can see here, is 24 cents per kilowatt hour.
I do think most people buying a Tesla aren't too concerned about it being a little more expensive. You just want to know basically that it's not more than gas, because that would be kind of dumb. Of course, like, Tesla puts it on the website saying you're going to save all this money over 5 years. I want to make sure I'm getting that and it's not actually more expensive or something like that. As long as utility companies don't go crazy and like jack up the price of electricity, this is pretty much the cost of it. That would be kind of crazy if they did that. But think about it, that does happen with gas. I mean, gas prices go even higher. All the calculations I did with this video were at a gas price of $3.50, and honestly, a lot of times it's like above $4 where I live, so I was being generous to them. That is, I feel like, everything you need to know about charging a Tesla. I feel like I went over like everything. So hope that you guys learned something, hope this video helped. If you're thinking about getting a Tesla, like, just totally do it if you can afford it. Like, I love it still. I will just reassure you right now, I've had it for like 3 years now and I still Love it. I would not get a different car. Like if I were to get a different car, it would just be another Tesla. Unless I couldn't charge where I live. That would really suck though. So that is it for this video. Hope that you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in my next video.